So with all that and the event schedules and different things, just real quick, we have Spirit Wear here. If Michelle wants to, today's our last day in Spirit Wear.
It's on our website. If you go to the website, like Casey was talking about, it's teamfocusbasketball.org. And then there's a shop button. We have sweatshirts and blankets and t-shirts, all sizes for youth and adults. And it was going to close today, but we are extending it until next Sunday. But then we can't place any more orders after that. But you have until next Sunday to place an order. There are some things out here on the table if you'd like anything, and some new card details as well. So you can pick that up or purchase that on the way up.
Awesome. Thank you, Michelle. So see Michelle if you got any questions on that. Like she said, she extended the Spirit Wear orders till next Sunday. So go to our website and take advantage of that. We'll only do a couple of those throughout the season. So please take advantage of it. So fundraisers, I can't explain enough. I mean, we'll try to limit ourselves on fundraisers, but we do have to occasionally do them at times. We don't have anything in immediate plans right now because we really want to focus on a couple of events that we have planned, like Children's Hope. So, but when we do throw one out there, it is a program fundraiser. So your child will not see 100% only of the benefit. So it is a program benefit. The whole program will take advantage of that. It was about half of our costs last year for Gatlinburg. Parents chipped in the rest of the cost, so it was a huge opportunity for us. So participate in fundraisers. Business sponsors, we have some great businesses that are sponsors right now, but we need some more. So if you know of any businesses that would like to sponsor, we are a non-profit organization. We have a lot of opportunity to do more things with the players. So we're trying to keep our player fee where it's at, if not even try to lower it through the year. But as rising cost goes up, we've seen a 40% increase in just court rental. And Trevor will go over that a little bit real quick once he shows you the financials. So website, social media, I encourage all of you to put pictures in GroupMe, put videos in GroupMe, or send them to Rich or Jody or any of the board members. Every year we want to keep putting these pieces together. They're great things that we can show the kids and give on to the parents and the players. So share your information. Follow us on our social media sites. I think all of us coaches pretty much have some type of social media. So please search us, find us on there. We'll be doing a lot of things this year differently than last year. We'll have some media opportunities to just highlight what our kids are doing. So keep an eye on those as the season rolls. So Trevor, if you just want to go briefly over here on the financial side.
Yeah, so we'll just kind of hit on some of the big things here, and then I'll kind of put in a couple of quick things. I know we've kept a lot of your time, so I want to keep it brief if I can. These are kind of the main top 5 expenses that we have each year. You know, we do pay every single team that enters into a league or tournament. We pay a fee for that, obviously. The court rental is one of our biggest ones. Especially when we talk about court rental, we talk about waste. The biggest thing that we can help with that, if you know something's going to pop up and you're going to miss practice on Thursday, let us know ahead of time as quickly as we possibly can. What we've seen in the past is we'll get some late notifications, and I know things pop up with myself as well. Let us know on those things. Maybe we can get another team in there, maybe we can get a workout, maybe we can even cancel that practice so we can help save some of that cost. That will really help bring that expense line down. Kind of the way that this works when we take player fees in, we have a lot of expenses that we pay for up front to get the best cost that we can. So that's kind of why it's important for us to really push getting those payments in early and getting them in now. If you haven't got with those, you can speak to myself or Casey to make sure that we can get that handled and get that taken care of. The rest of it here, the uniforms and shooting shirts. The uniforms, we collect at the end of the year. A lot of the ways that the uniforms were covered in the past were from sponsorships or fundraisers or donations. The nice part about this is now we've got a nice little inventory of them, to where we shouldn't have this huge expense every single year. The nice part about that is it's going to help keep our costs down. I think we're pretty competitive as far as pricing is, and our pricing has worked really well. And also at the same time, none of us do take that paycheck either. The coach's hotel, I mean, when you get traveling, we see a little bit more in the summer. We don't do a ton of traveling in the fall, winter. I believe we have Grand Rapids Coldwater wouldn't be one that we would have expenses for hotels. Those can add up pretty quickly. A lot of what you'll see is our coaches will stay 8, 9, 10 coaches to a room, and maybe 2 rooms if we're lucky. So especially when we get later on in the end of the year, kind of keep in mind of what those expenses look like for us, as long as what you would look like for you. And then one of the smallest ones, just to think about an additional cost that you may not be used to, just covering the board and the teams and insurance. I mean, it just shows itself of how much that cost can ramp up pretty quick. I'm going to go back real quick and hit on the sponsors and fundraisers. Casey talked about those. What we saw last year, we did a couple. We did a Rise and Roll sponsor, or a Rise and Roll fundraiser, and we also did a chicken sale fundraiser. The more you can help with those, the more you can help us with those, and the more money we can raise that, the more reason why it says that we can do extra things like a Gatlinburg trip, or keep our player fee down where we want it to where we're making sure that we're not killing the pocket as well. So just make sure that we're hitting on those things as much as we can. We had some classes in the past year that were really successful and raised a lot of money for us. There's in the chicken and the Rise and Roll, a couple other things that we did. We had a couple classes that were kind of behind and we need more help with. So the more we can focus on those things, the better it's going to make this program for everybody involved. So things are expensive. I know it's expensive on your end as well, but just kind of keep those in mind. When those do pop up, we would like some nice solid support on them to make sure we can keep our expenses down.
Thank you. So just March and May, we were at $6,500 a month in those time frames on court rental costs. So a very large expense. I thought we did a pretty good job, but Foy and I figured out the other night we wasted close to $3,000 because of just some either not communicating on time, getting practice scheduled or rescheduled, or now we only got 2 or 3 kids showing up to practice, and then we could have maybe combined that night and took one of our teams from a facility that wasn't charging us and moved things around. So like Trevor said, it's big time on communication. You'll be amazed on how fast it can help us save money in those areas. So so just keep that in mind as you go on through the season. But court cost is definitely a big piece of our expense, and we can easily waste money in that category as well. So just last things, to-do list before you leave here. GroupMe, make sure everybody is on GroupMe. Every team is set up. We've sent invites to everybody. If you haven't received that, make sure you see somebody before you leave today and get on that, because that'll be 99% of the communication. So make sure you're familiar with GroupMe. GroupMe is not where you complain. GroupMe is for information about teams, schedules, last minute communication, sharing photos, sharing videos. That's what GroupMe is for. It's supposed to be a positive platform. I have to remind myself of that every time, and the coaches have to do that as well. So do not express yourself and your frustration on GroupMe, please. You'll be easily removed. So, but no, it's a great tool. So, and it's free. So GroupMe, League App, make sure you get those documents checked off on League App. If you need help with setting up your account or getting back into your account, one of the ladies can help you out front. Any other paperwork, I think we're good on. We've streamlined a lot of that this year. Our insurance is all set up. Rosters are really important for our insurance process, so we're trying to lock in those final spots of rosters. We did have a change in the 7th grade class. We went from 3 teams to 2 teams. So there'll be some communication there here real shortly. But everybody else is pretty good. From this point forward, your head coaches for your classes will start communicating to you regularly on a weekly basis, daily basis. So feel free to make sure you're on the GroupMe to get that information. That's all I pretty much have. Does anybody have any questions here? We're going to release people by grade level so we don't kill the uniform ladies out there. So just be a little bit more patient. I really appreciate everybody's time. I know we've taken a lot of it here, but it's an opportunity for us one time during this 5-month season to just hopefully give you a little bit about what we're about and what we want to see. But we're looking forward to getting to know every one of you, new families and returning families. We have a lot of work to do to continue to learn these kids on and off the court. So we're looking forward to that. So today was a big step in that, and you're a big part of why we're here. You're a big part of giving us this opportunity with your child, and we appreciate that. So any questions before Derek finishes off? Yes, sir.
The You were talking about the documents we need to read and check off of. They're on the website.
They're on the league apps. So you go back into where you registered for tryouts, registered for workouts, go log back into your family, and then on the main page, it should show the event. So you'll click on the fall/winter 2018-2019 season. You'll go in there, and then it'll have waivers. Click on the waivers, and then it'll give you the list of them, then you can click on it. So we'll try to send out a link too on GroupMe for that. Any other questions?
You mentioned that everybody was opted out of text in what, in GroupMe or in?
In the league app, yep. So we have two ways of sending out text, through GroupMe, through the app of GroupMe, and then we have League Apps has its own text messaging process. You just have to go into your family account, and I think it's a family settings. Go on there and just opt into SMS or text messages. So, any other questions? Awesome. So I'll let Coach Derek talk, and then he'll release the third grade first, and then we'll just give us a couple minutes in between each group so they can get those uniforms handed out. Shooting shirts are being ordered Monday. We had to wait on those because of some different things at the Chinese factory, plus trying to get everybody's sizes in and different things. So we're hoping to have them at our first event, but the shooting shirts will be here, so that'll be something separate that we hand out. The uniforms will be home and away. So there's four pieces that you'll need today. There's also the spirit wear items that are out there for sale. There's some $2 t-shirts. If you want to grab some of those, get them out of our hair. And any car decals that you might be interested in as well. Yes, and the shooting shirts you'll keep once we get them in your possession. We're going to be really strict on the players are going to love this. Tucking in our jerseys for warm-ups, wearing the same shooting shirt for our warm-ups. We are one, all right? We look the same as one. So there won't be some kids in sweatshirts, some kids in last year's shooting shirts, some kids in whatever they want to wear. We'll be very adamant on that this year. So we will get those shooting shirts out to everybody, hopefully here in the next 3 weeks for the first event. So Derek, if you want to finish this off.
I just want to finalize it by just thanking everybody again for coming out. We appreciate the time and energy and effort. There's a lot that goes into it, and it's, again, not overlooked on our part. We know the parents are a big portion of this in terms of supporting the kids and getting them where they need to be, and so on and so forth, and we're just very thankful for that. You know, as Tyler said earlier, we're not here to beat you up, but we do want to reiterate that the important things to us as coaches and as program managers that we want to handle that, and we want this to be about the kids. That's obviously the most important part for us. So thank you again.